Well, things are beginning to unravel for Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu after 6 bodies of hostages were found from an underground tunnel in Gaza. The news led to spontaneous demonstrations all over Israel, blaming Netanyahu for the failure to secure a hostage deal. While Netanyahu has now vowed action, demonstrators and family members are now demanding an immediate hostage and ceasefire deal. This, as Hamas says, 3 of the 6 hostages whose bodies were recovered on a hostage release list. Our next report telling you more.
Almog, we love you and you'll always stay in our hearts.
Grief and anger on the streets of Israel as the IDF discovered bodies of 6 hostages in an underground tunnel in southern Gaza.
A few hours ago, we informed the families that the bodies of their loved ones had been located by IDF troops in an underground tunnel in Rafah. According to our initial assessment, they were brutally murdered by Hamas terrorists shortly before we reached them.
The dead included 23-year-old Harsh Goldberg, Poland, and 4 others abducted at the Supernova Music Festival on October 7. Israeli forces said the bodies were retrieved from a tunnel in Rafah, barely a kilometer away from where another hostage, Quaid Farhan Al-Qadi, was rescued alive last week.
In order to stop this and to save lives, there is one thing that must be done. For lives to be saved, Netanyahu must be immediately replaced.
Protesters have vowed to bring the country to a standstill, saying Netanyahu needs to go if the hostages are to live. They single out Netanyahu's insistence on the control of the Philadelphia corridor for the failure of the ceasefire deal.
We are here in the 330th day that the hostages, 107 hostages, are still in the hell tunnels in Gaza. And I want to talk about the decision of the Prime Minister at the last Friday. He decided that the Philadelphia access is much more important from the life of the hostages. And I want to tell him that he's making a war crime. He's a war criminal. He's a mass murderer by his decision.
While Israeli ministers reportedly backed Netanyahu's demand for the control of the crossing at Thursday's cabinet meeting, Israel's Channel 12 says Minister Yoav Gallant and security chiefs repeatedly urged him to compromise. Israel's finance minister, Bezalel Smotrich, has warned of another October 7 attack if the IDF does not carry a preemptive strike against terrorism. Opposition leader Yair Lapid and the mayor of Tel Aviv have called for a nationwide strike for the release of hostages, even as the Israeli Prime Minister vowed revenge.
In recent days, as Israel has been holding intensive negotiations with the mediator in a supreme effort to reach a deal, Hamas is continuing to steadfastly refuse all proposals. Even worse, at the exact same time, it murdered 6 of our hostages. Whoever murders hostages does not want a deal.
Adding to the anger, Hamas claimed the recovered Israeli hostages were due to be released in a proposed prisoner exchange deal. Facing angry protesters at home and a rebellion in his own cabinet, the question is, will Netanyahu agree to a deal to bring the remaining hostages back?